Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 2021 National Signing Day press conference here on the campus of Delta State University inside the Miller and Rebecca Arant family meeting room. My name is Cody Clark, the coordinator of media relations and radio voice of the Statesmen. We are very excited today to welcome 32 new young men to the Delta State football family. I know head coach Todd Cooley and his staff are excited about this class. They've been extremely hard at work putting this class together, and we are extremely excited to have some of them already on campus and then our signees today to get them on campus in the fall. Today, 22 high school seniors, one graduate transfer signing to join the family. Student athletes from 7 different states when you factor in the mid-year transfers as well. And like we said, Coach Cooley and his staff set to go where that's concerned. And the man you're here to hear about is Coach Cooley, so we'll bring him up. I'll welcome head football coach Todd Cooley. He'll make an opening statement. He'll run through the class, and then we'll open it up to the media and anybody else who potentially has any questions. So, Coach, all yours.
Thank you. I'm far enough, I think, away from everybody, so I can take this off. Really excited, really proud of the work that our coaching staff did. I appreciate all the help from our administration on campus. I cannot thank the Delta State Police Department, Chief Johns and his staff for helping us on our campus tours, especially we had some tours when school was not in, opening up buildings and things of that sort for us. So I thought it went really well. You know, it was a little different recruiting this time around with COVID. We were able to do more day visits, which I think really helped us. And I thought that the families and the young men that we brought in were very understanding of the sacrifices we had to make because of COVID. What I can say is it was a unique year in recruiting, just like this year has been kind of different. I was really pleased that all these guys, a lot of guys were really emotional about committing to us, and that means a lot to me. And I think these guys want to play football, and we didn't sugarcoat anything during the recruiting process. I know that this press conference will not be probably near as controversial as the last one a year ago. This one will probably be pretty tame, but you know, I'm proud of these guys. I feel like when you look around the United States today, there's not a lot of guys signing, and I think these guys realized how the situation they were in because of COVID and also because of the transfer portal, which is absolutely taking over our sport right now. But they knew that to get an opportunity to get some scholarship money and to get a chance to make a visit and to come on a campus was really special. And, you know, I feel bad for a lot of high school seniors right now that kind of normally I think would be signing. But I think we did the best that we could with the money that we have available. And I think that we addressed some needs. If you notice, I think we signed 10 offensive linemen, which was big. As far as high schools go, we also signed mid-year transfer and Jacob Welch from Winona, Mississippi, which I'm pretty excited about that position. We signed a lot of DBs with a lot of length, a lot of size on them. You know, starting at the top, grad transfer Jaquan Henderson. We were able to get a grad transfer in LaMarcus Thomas from Clinton, Mississippi, and also a grad transfer in Sherrod Page, a young man that we knew of through Coach Jerry Partridge, who's out at Northern Arizona. So those 3 guys are going to give us some immediate help, we feel like, on the back end. And then also signing some young DBs as you go down the list. Bernard Jones out of Citronelle, Alabama, Marco Foster, Westover High School, a lot of length in those 2 young men right there. William Carter, another tall guy from Winona High School in Birmingham, Alabama. So I feel like we did a good job of trying to identify some tall guys that are rangy, and they can play corner, they can play safety. That'll be figured out later. Had to go all the way to Colorado to get a kicker, specialist punter, and Connor Mantelli, but what a great relationship we've started with him, and I feel like he's going to come in and compete. You know, if you realize we also have Parker Burleson on campus along with Sam Barge, so that's going to be a lot of competition in that room starting day one. Just going through the list, Jalen Brown, offensive lineman, is a young man that was not able to play his senior year of high school. Jalen's a fine young man from Montgomery, Alabama. We really enjoyed getting to know him. We're excited to get him. Alex Threadgill from right here at Bio Academy is a big kid that is still growing. and we feel like he's got a great frame. Jacob McCaskill is a young man from Santa Ma, Louisiana. We're excited about his size. Nasir Lomax was also from Grady High School outside Atlanta, Georgia, Fayetteville, Georgia, actually. But Nasir is a great young man. We're excited about him. Tall, tackle body. Sticking with the offensive line as I go down through here, George Walker, who played at South Cobb High School, which is home of Keyshawn Jennings. We knew a lot about George before the season started through Keyshawn. Brooks Bueller, a young man from Daphne, Alabama, comes from a really good program there. Logan Browning, Bibb County High School in Alabama, is a really tall young man, 275 pounds, looks really good. We're excited about him. Mac Thompson, another young man from Winston Academy. Jaqueline Lumpkin is another offensive lineman we signed from Upston Lee High School. And then also we have Zach Cleveland from Lee County High School, rounding out our high school offensive line. Big, tall tackle. We're really excited about him. You know, we really weren't looking to sign a running back because we did get Corey Gainwell at Christmas. And then you also have, you know, you still got Rico Owens back. You still have Deion Dampier back. B.J. Ellison's back. Keelan Wilson will be back. So you kind of got a loaded running back room. But when you watch Malik Smith's tape, it's undeniable. And he's a very good athlete. Really excited about him. The two receivers, we were able to sign Alonzo Johnson, who comes from Ramsey High School, which is also the same high school Lee Battle and Jamarcus Ellison played at. So these are two guys that are doing really well for us in our program. So we were excited to get Alonzo. And then also Dalen Hall, who we think is from Westover as well. Him and Marco Foster played together there, and we just felt like he's got tremendous speed, playmaking ability, so we're really excited about him. You know, we're pretty deep at linebacker right now. We were able to get Chris Bonner, who fits kind of our profile. Tall guy, good frame, speedy guy, can rush the passer off the edge. So he's a guy that we look for as well. So we're excited to get Chris Bonner. And then also at tight end, we were able to get Colin Zaringay from Hahnville, Louisiana. We're excited about him. Obviously, the mid-year guys that we have are doing really well right now. Jalen Heffner is a young man he's listed as a D lineman. He could possibly play outside linebacker for us. He's from Batesville, Mississippi, played at Hines. Javion Matthews, we had a connection there with Coach Tristan Spear, who coached him actually at Highland Community College. We're excited about him as a safety. Travis Toby is a young man that is still has 4 years to play, was in Florida Tech's program, an early enrollee a spring ago, and then COVID hit. Found out about him. We're excited to get him. Bernard Thomas is still going to have 3 years left to play from Mississippi Gulf Coast. Fine young man. We're excited about him. So overall, I think we did well. I'm excited about Taylor King coming in, grad transfer quarterback from Slippery Rock. Taylor was actually here this summer, and then once we decided, the decision was made to not play, he went back home for a semester, so we had to re-sign him again, which was no problem. But we like what he's doing so far. He's competing well in the weight room and looks good in workouts. So pretty good class, really excited about them. Like I said, they all wanted to be here, and that was the biggest thing to me. So I hope I hit on everybody, but I'm thrilled with our class. Oh, the one guy I did not mention, I guess I didn't talk about the D lineman. And I need to talk about the three guys that we signed because they're all from the same high school. Brandon Wilkes, Kendall Mapson, and Martello Kelly all played in the same high school. And if you watch their high school play, Pleasant Grove High School, they had a dominant defensive line. We were excited to get all three of those guys. Martello's an inside guy. Brandon and Kendall are more defensive end bodies, which we're really excited about there as well. And they come into, like I said, they're coming into a pretty good spot. Defensive line-wise, we're pretty deep right now, and they knew that coming in, but they're not shying away from that competition, which we're excited about. So that being said, man, we're just cooking with gas right now, going full steam ahead. We're excited about today, and we're ready to moving in towards spring practice starting March the 2nd as we prepare for our fall season. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Coach Cooley.
Yes, Andy.
Hey, academically, the guys that you signed, just talk about their potential in the classroom? Because I know throughout the year I know that's always a great concern for y'all as coaches.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to graduate 9 more guys this spring, and that'll be 129 total graduates since I've been here. I mean, every one of these guys are qualifiers. These guys we feel like they have the background to succeed here academically, or else we wouldn't have recruited them. So I feel good about where they are. It's just all about getting indoctrinated into our culture and how we do things. Just like I got a text message a while ago. We've had a couple guys who were in study hall here this week, but they missed their study hall appointment at the Student Success Center, and those are kind of things that we can't have here. We've just had a little miscommunication from time to time. We got to get those guys going the correct way. But that's what it's going to come down to. Andy, to answer your question, that's what it always comes down to. You have test scores, you have grades that you look at in high school, and then you have conversations, obviously, and you talk to coaches, and you try to talk to counselors and talk to everybody you can to make sure, hey, these guys are what we want academically, as well as what you see on tape and how they compete and things like that. But we feel good about where we are with these guys and what they can bring as students to Delta State University.
Of course, every year I know y'all are always looking to compete for a championship, and of course you go out and recruit the best players you can. When you see an area where there's a need that needs to be met, how big a difference is meeting just one or two areas? How big a difference is that as far as a team that does okay to a championship team?
Well, I think if you don't meet your needs and you're not efficient enough at a certain position, you're not going to win a championship. So I think it's critical. When you have needs that you have to address, it's critical that you meet those needs and address those needs. We still have some needs we've still got to address, but we got a long time before we play in August. So you're still going to see us sign a couple of young men here over the next few months, but we're going to take our time and try to make sure, are we getting the right guys? And I think we did a really good job with this group. We didn't rush anything, like I said, from the jump. I mean, we tried to build relationships and we tried to build honesty from the jump, and we tried to tell them this is, playing football at Delta State is not for everyone. It's not easy, and it's not supposed to be. It's a blue-collar program. It always will be. It's a tough program, and you've got to be a gritty type of player to play here. And we like that, and we told all of our young men that. And, we told more young men that were on this page that, and some of them didn't like that, and that's fine. I'd rather know on the front end than the back end. So, but we're gonna get the right kind of guys, and we're still looking because we still feel like, although you're always building, for the future, at this level of football and the way college football is now, you're only as good as your next season or your last season. So it's a year-by-year process, and you better be good every year. And it's tough to do that in this league, but we're ready for that challenge.
Coach, you talked about COVID and all of the challenges that's presented. For you and your staff on the recruiting trail, not having a GSC-sponsored season, knowing guys are going to get those years back, how did y'all go about trying to piece together to figure out, okay, this is who we are going to have, this is what we think we need, knowing that you won't play a GSC football game until August?
It's hard. Dude, that's a great question. I mean, it's been hours of conversations, hours of thinking through, hours of just putting up scenarios on a board. What happens if this happens? And that's what people don't understand. You're planning. A lot of people have talked to me in town. They're like, "Well, what are you doing these days? What the hell you mean? What am I doing these days?" I mean, I'm recruiting nonstop. I'm coaching my team up nonstop. We're staying on top of academics. We're trying to figure out who's going to class, who's not going to class. We're trying to figure out who's going to graduate. How are we going to keep these seniors on scholarship next year and still sign a class? It's endless. A lot of staffs are taking off today and celebrating for the recruiting class. Hell, we got our team run tonight at 8. You know what I'm saying? We're not messing around. We got to go. And it has been like that nonstop. So to answer your question, and there's no book to say, hey, if this happens, then do this. And this is the formula. There is no formula. You're just basically trying to project things and try to think ahead as much as you can. And those are conversations that we have openly as a coaching staff, to try to figure those things out. So, and I'll be real honest with you, a lot of staffs went, and I've heard a lot of us staff saying, hey, we're just going to stay in the transfer pool. We decided not to do that. We look at it, but you know how many high school seniors are getting left out right now because of that portal? You know what I'm saying? 15 more guys went in yesterday. I guess I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with that. I don't know where it's going. But all I know is what we're teaching right now is not the right things. We're a lot of times we're not finishing what we start. But I just felt like these kids, hell, they ain't even given an opportunity to get in the portal yet. They just want to get in a program. You know what I'm saying? And they want to come play college football. But anyway, well, there's your little bit of controversy for the day. Hell, I had to do it.
Coach, you talked about the difficulties recruiting. How hard is it with maybe limited video from this year? You talked about one of our guys didn't get to play a season, and with COVID canceling games, how hard was it to look at film from maybe this year compared to previous years?
Yeah, it was difficult. It's difficult, but like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think it was as difficult on us as it was Division I. Division I couldn't even go out. At least we could go see the guy, as long as we stayed safe, Now, we did like everybody else. We did a lot of Zoom home visits because, it's COVID, man. You don't want to go in someone's home. That would destroy me if I knew I got sick and I got somebody sick, especially a recruiter or his family. But we could go see them from a distance. We could go be with them. We could go meet with them. And that was good, and we could get them on campus and get to know them a little bit. So we feel better about what we signed, obviously, than, I've talked to a bunch of my buddies that are coaching Division I. That's rough, what they had to do right now. They couldn't even go out and do that. They were allowed to play, and they had the money to test to play, but NCAA wouldn't let them go out and recruit. But whatever. We can still go recruit. But
Coach, the mindset of your football team heading into the spring, knowing they won't be playing any football games, but I know we've been in touch with you through the radio show a couple of times, and the attitude of your team, you like where it's at,
I do.
You like where we're going.
I do.
How has that been for your guys as they head into a big spring to prep for the next fall?
Well, I tell you what, man. We talked about it, and we've talked about it, in not even on record, so to speak, or at a coaching show. We talked about it just in the office. You and I have both talked about it. We've kind of switched. I felt at the first of the fall, when all this happened in late summer, felt really, really just felt for our players, felt for our coaches, felt for our players, didn't get to play, put a lot of work in, didn't get to do it, felt for our fans, but really felt for the players, So, we tried to make the fall. It was still tough, and we got done what we wanted to do, but, I probably was a little more lax than I normally was just because I felt just to be honest with you, I felt bad for them. You know what I'm saying? But, man, we're back where we are right now. We're going to play next fall. You know what I'm saying? We feel really good about that. I feel confident in saying that. We're going to play 11-game schedule, and we're going to play in a tough conference. We're going to play a tough schedule, and nobody feels sorry for Delta State. Nobody ever will, and that's the way we want it. And we're going to be ready to go when it's time to go. Our players have great attitudes, but it has switched. We are back to doing what we do around this place. It has been back to toughness, and it has been, on top of them from every angle, the way that they're used to getting coached in this program. So we are loving them tough, once again, as we like to say around here. And I think it was time to get back to that. And you know what I'm seeing with this team that's coming back here for us in the fall of 21 is we are becoming a player-led football team, which is what I want to try to accomplish by the end of the spring. That is my number one goal for this team by the end of the spring. I want to become a player-led football team to where I and the assistant coaches don't have to do as much. They handle the day-to-day issues that we have, and they don't ever become problems. And we're not there yet, and that's a tough process for a team to go through, but we're going to get there. What else?
Good. Andy, good?
Andy, you good?
Good.
Well, I appreciate y'all's time today. Lovely day. Like I said, a lot less controversial. Really proud of these guys. Thought we had great graphics. Really enjoyed that. And go DSU, baby.
That's right.
Kill it. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
You the man.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you, Andy.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. We'll send those